look at you all in your bright, airy place as I look like I'm talking to people from a dungeon. Welcome, Carrie Champion. What is going on? Where you at? What you doing? How you living?
Hello, everyone. My name is Cari. I'm Jemele's friend. This is our time to chat. Where are you?
I am currently in the greatest city on the planet, a city that you love very dearly. That would be Detroit, Michigan. Um, I came here because I was participating in Jalen Rose's golf tournament, which was a wonderful event. And, got my golfing on because I've become pretty hooked on golfing for the last 3 years. I was like me and my husband, we took golf lessons 3 years ago, and that is something that we love to do. Unfortunately, I haven't been playing a lot lately, and that kind of showed up a little bit in the golf tournament. But I'm happy to say, and this is why y'all can't look me in the face, is I won the women's long drive championship or women's long drive hole or whatever. So I drove it the longest of all the ladies that were there. So y'all can't look me in the eye anymore because I am officially a golfer. Don't at me, don't look at me. Yeah, that's what I am. So I was very happy to have done that. And as you see, Carrie kind of disappeared because I think her internet was freezing. And so hopefully she'll be back with us in a second. So at any rate, yes, I spent my weekend being in Detroit, connecting with people, and also, playing a little bit of golf. Oh, she's back. Okay.
Well, you
See?
know what? I was trying to talk bad about you. That was my Wi-Fi. I was like, "Oh, you in the hotel? Your Wi-Fi is bad."
Hmm.
It was
No,
my.
that would be your Wi-Fi. All right. You better stop putting your Wi-Fi in your little cousin's
No,
name, Carrie.
you know what happened? Remember when that boat hit the bridge? It knocked out Wi-Fi, and so everybody's Wi-Fi in the area. Do you remember that big story, the Navy boat that hit the bridge, the Brooklyn Bridge?
Oh yeah, I did hear about that. Right. I did
You
hear
thought I
about
was making something up when I said that. I'm not.
No,
I'm
no,
not.
no. I was trying to remember. I was like, what story was that? Yes, I did hear about this, about the Brooklyn Bridge.
So as a result, people lost Wi-Fi in the neighborhood, and it's literally walking distance from where I am. I wasn't here this weekend. I
Ooh.
was seeing Beyonce. We'll get into that. But the reality is that I just told little Mook Mook and them to put it back in, and they said they hold it off for 45 minutes or so.
All right,
Mook Mook and
all right,
them
you
do it.
better stop getting that bootleg, get it off the
Uh-huh.
street Wi-Fi, Carrie.
T-Mobile, 2-for-1, T-Mobile Wi-Fi
You know what I'm
special.
saying? That trap Wi-Fi. Mm-mm. So
You
you
know what?
mentioned,
I just want to say something. One thing that
sure.
and I want people to know this, so because I don't want people to think I'm talking behind your back. I have said this before about you, but once you start doing something like this whole golf thing, now you think you're Tiger Woods dress and Tiger at like you can't stop talking about it. I mean, no one really cares today. Who
Oh
cares? You
yeah.
won.
Oh, y'all care about my golf game. Y'all, I'm gonna make you care about it. Y'all care about this golf game,
Don't
and
nobody, don't nobody care about your golf game. You always like, we saw golfing, and I took y'all. We went on a vacation together. We went to where did we go? Puerto Rico, and you brought your clubs. I was like, oh, you were so Anglo. You brought your clubs. I was like, remember those golf clubs you bought when we went to? Was it Puerto Rico? We went to. No, we didn't go to Puerto Rico. What? Puerto
look,
Vallarta?
you confusing me with one of your other friends. I was like, girl, I have not been with any golf
Was
clubs
it?
with you.
Where it was with the machetes. Where'd we go? And you brought your golf clubs.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. We was in Puerto Vallarta because I was going somewhere else or coming from somewhere where I played golf. I think that's what it was.
Okay, you fancy.
Yes, and so I didn't bring them there to play. I brought them there because I was in transit in transit. So yes, we were all in Puerto Vallarta. I did have golf clubs that got lost. Oh, I know what it was. I was headed to the same tournament. It was Jalen Rose's. I was
Oh, the
leaving there.
same
Yes,
time.
I was leaving there to go to Jalen Rose's golf tournament. And that is why I had my clubs with me. I know y'all didn't play, so I wasn't there to play with y'all. And by the way, speaking of our former colleague and friend Jalen Rose, um, I'm just so proud of him. I mean, he's been doing this school now. For those who don't know, Jalen Rose has his own school. It's called the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy, and he's been doing it now for 15 years. And one of the
Yeah.
announcements that he made at the golf tournament is that he now has been. It was Henry Ford Health Center. That Henry Ford's a hospital here, and they donated a building to his academy. And now, I was like, I thought your Wi-Fi went out for a minute. I was like, girl, you're gonna have to move the antenna.
Okay.
Don't act like you don't know about that.
foil. Where is the
Right, exactly. Get you some foil. But it was really great because now he is going to have a big enough building because Henry Ford donated this for a full on. He'll have a lower school and he'll have a high school. Right now, they're all in one building. He'll have two separate buildings. So, congratulations to Jalen Rose because this is a remarkable accomplishment. I mean, he's literally changing the futures of young people in Detroit. I mean, his graduation rate is well over 90%. The majority of the students that come out of there, they go to college or they go to trade school. Like he is really doing his thing and making a huge difference in community. So shout out to him.
That, well, congratulations to Jalen Rose. Congratulations to you for winning. I love that you play golf. I was just joking. I too have a foundation. We don't have to toot my horn on my foundation. Just you acting like he the only Black person you know.
He is not, but we should toot your horn. Cari also has a foundation.
I do. But this is not. No, we'll do it later. We'll do it later.
Okay, but you deserve some horn tooting because I know that it's not easy to do. Right? It's not easy to be in this space and to do something and to especially something that's community minded, that's aimed at brown girls. Like that is not an easy thing for you to do.
Well, you know what's not easy, and I don't want to get into this debate, but being a brown girl is not easy either. You know what I mean? You and I were going over, and we can talk about my foundation later. But I was just thinking about this when you talk about what's not easy. This whole Angel Reese-Caitlin Clark thing that everyone's
girl.
And now I'm looking, and it's obviously, it will always be a story. I don't think it'll ever not be a story. I wonder if we're looking at it the wrong way, though, Jemele.
Okay, what way should we be looking at it?
Of course, there will always be the debate, the versus debate. There will always be knuckleheads like RG3 who have, outlandish takes that are not accurate. There will always be people like you and I who'll try to meet in the middle and explain things that America just will never understand when you're a brown girl. There's just certain things you'll just never understand. There's a trauma sometimes that we carry around that is inherent, that is passed down from generation to generation, no matter how much healing and therapy we are in. It just is what it is. We are triggered in different ways. But I wonder if we're not looking at this the way that I have always looked at this. And when we did that, the Making of a Rivalry, I have a podcast series on my podcast on Naked Sports, Making of a Rivalry. If we're not looking at it like this is good for the game. Racism isn't good for the game. But the fact that people are talking about these two women, no matter how polarizing they are, it's still drawing eyes and name recognition and building characters and giving stories. Storylines and characters will always sell, no matter, I don't care what you're talking about. I know about the Pacers fan that got beat down the other day or trash thrown at him while he was walking home.
Right.
Like the competition, the rivalry after he's coming back from a Knicks game. It's always a thing, right? And I wonder if we are giving too much attention to the silly people saying silly things about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Your thoughts?
I think that's a very valid point. That, we always have the option of just focusing on the game and just focusing on what they're doing on a basketball court. But you are right, is that the drama of this, the theater of this, sadly, the racism of this, 2.7 million people watch that game. It's the most watched WNBA game ever. So there's clearly an appetite for whatever it is people are saying, be it, of course, naturally, they both have their own fan bases that are quite large. And, Caitlin Clark, she can roll out of bed and 1 million people are going to watch it, right? So I understand that part of it. But I have to be honest, like we're now at the point in the story, Cari, where it's not fun discussing them. It literally isn't. It's not fun.
That's my point. Why then do we care when someone like RG3 says something negative? Yes, we should defend. Yes, we should go. And yes, Ryan, thank you. Ryan's always defending Black women in a lot of ways. But no one is perfect and no one is without this attitude. And by perfect, I mean, I'm not saying Ryan is wrong. And I'm definitely not agreeing with RG3 because there's just no way you can really know what a person feels. And
to that point, Cari, let me pop up. This is what set it off. And he did an entire YouTube live about it as well. He has his own YouTube show, but this is what set off everything is that he said after he tweeted this after watching Caitlin Clark's flagrant foul on Angel Reese and the aftermath, there is no way Angel Reese can continue the lie that she doesn't dislike Caitlin Clark. I know what hatred looks like. Angel Reese hates, all caps, Caitlin Clark, not some basketball rivalry hate either. Hate. And
so what? And so what if she does? And so what if she does? How about that? So what if she does? Because guess what? I bet you there was a time when Magic Johnson hated Larry Bird. I bet you there was a time when Michael Jordan hated Isaiah Thomas. So what? Why can women not just compete as athletes? Why can't women just go down there and do what they get? The society doesn't, we don't have to play nice. Of course, it's a man saying, oh, it's hatred. No woman's tweeting they hate each other, like for various reasons. And if a woman is doing that, I'm just saying a woman with a platform such as that is saying, oh, they hate each other. Who cares? I really honestly feel not only when we tell this story, Jemele, one is always versus another. I do believe that we are requiring of them different things that we do not require of our male athletes. I don't care that if they hate each other. I don't think they should be fighting on the court, but I don't care if they hate each other. What does that have to do with me enjoying the game? Now, where I draw the line is I don't think Angel should be getting called any kind of racist names, but I believe that has been happening since the inception of the WNBA, and it's just now being highlighted. It's not a new thing. You know that. You tweet something, you say something, and then, okay, all the racism comes at us. It's just the nature of the world that we live in because everyone has an opinion that they want to share. Why do we care? Why do we care if she does? I'm asking you.
No, well, you're right in the sense, and I've made this point before, just about how people talk about the WNBA in general. Like last season, when our friend Charles Barkley said, "All women, y'all can't be petty. Don't be like the men. Don't be petty." I'm like, why not? Like, who can't? Like, honestly, it's a part of sports that people like. What is the number one complaint you hear from people when they talk about the NBA? It's too friendly. That's the number one thing they complain about all the times. Fans complain that the NBA players are too friendly with each other. They don't want the super teams. They want it back in the 80s and 90s basketball. Well, people were slugging each other then. They really hated each other. Their players, like you mentioned, Isaiah and Michael Jordan hate each other now. Okay.
Can we just stop for a moment and pause at the irony of Charles Barkley telling somebody not to be petty? We love Chuck.
I know Charles Barkley, who threw somebody once through a plate glass window, by the way.
Charles Barkley, Petty LaBelle. You know what I mean? It's like, are you kidding me right now? Like Petty Murphy, he is the definition of petty in every possible way. That's what makes us, that's why we enjoy watching him on television, interacting with Shaq and the rest of them and talking crazy to players. Like there should not be etiquette on how these women ball. If Angel would have got a hold of Caitlin and punched her and threw a couple of, okay, then it's.
But let's be real, okay, Cari. Angel wasn't about to hit that girl. That was one of those hold me back, but I'm holding myself back.
Yeah,
she already tried to hit that girl.
She already knew. So here is my question: why do we care that RG3 says that? And why do we care if she might in fact hate her? And if in fact Caitlin's hard file was to show I don't like you either? Like, I mean, why is that a problem?
I think you're right. I mean, I think you're onto something, is that we shouldn't change the expectation of competitiveness or even pettiness just because we're talking about women. And maybe because for a long time, loving women's sports, being a part of women's sports, it has been treated mostly as something that you do because it's morally the right thing to do, or because, you want these women to succeed. Like it's been a much more flowery picture, even though we know that these women are competing quite hard. But they themselves, both the WNBA and really a lot of women's sports leagues, they brand themselves based on unity. And people start to begin to take that very literally, like, oh, all the players should just love each other and they should all feel connected and they're all women and they should be pulling for each other. It's like they out here trying to win titles, get money, and do a lot of the same things that the men are. And in general, sometimes, and I think this applies to real life as well, is me and Ian had this discussion before where he was like, I'm sorry. He's like, it may be considered sexist or whatever. I just expect better of women. And I'm like, but why?
Well, he's right. That's what he's sexist.
I'm gonna tell him you said that.
Yeah,
Call my
yes,
husband
it's
sexist.
correct. It may be considered sexist because he is. You do expect better of women, but why are we held to some different moral standard when we are just 100% athletes? Like, look. Just back to the RG3 does not know who hates who. Okay, he just
Right.
doesn't. It's the fact of the matter. He does not know if Angel truly hates Caitlin and vice versa. That's the first thing. His response to me was so typical of someone watching a sport as of late, because he's never been a WNBA fan. He never paid attention to the WNBA until he found it would be interesting to do these hot takes, and it would drive his Instagram and his followers and his YouTube page hot. Like he literally, I don't believe, like a lot of these male colleagues that we hear who are watching the sport are new to the game. And so they've never seen this type of intense. We talked about this. We talked about how these women compete and how they didn't like each other, and how when they started to get more attention, they thought they had to be nice. We talked about this, Jemele. Like, this is the inception of the game. We've watched since when did the league start? 1998, 97, 97?
Yep,
These
98.
these women have been not disliking each other for a very long time. Now that there is a bigger arena for people to watch, there are more comments, as it should be. But I think it should remain the same. I don't know why we keep giving people gas bags attention to get us all riled up. I really just don't. And I don't know who I'm calling a gas bag, but I just don't.
That's such an old school word, gas bag.
I like to use such language. I'm a sweet soul, as it says there on the lower third.
It does.
Friend.
Well, real quick though, I'm gonna play. This is Ryan Clark's response to Ryan Clark, another former colleague, but this is Ryan's response to RG3. Not just the tweet, but some of the comments he then later made on his YouTube page.
And so now, if you're RG3, when is the last time within your household you've had a conversation about what she's dealing with? You haven't been able to do that because in both of your marriages, you've been married to white women. You haven't had opportunities to have those conversations to educate you on what they're feeling, what Black women deal with, what they're seeing when they think of a young Angel Reese. And the whole time that he's mimicking Angel Reese and bobbing his head and moving his neck while he's doing this whole piece, his wife is in the back amening and clapping. And so now if you're
That was our boy Ryan Clark, and RG3, of course, he clapped back. He had a response as well.
A lot of buzz, a lot of conversations about my sports take that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, which was purely based in basketball. But I think all of you know there's a line in life that you just simply don't cross. Wives and children are always off limits, and Ryan Clark has sprinted past that line. Ryan Clark didn't like my sports take that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, and that's fine. It's okay. It's part of the game. Sports media, I'm going to have an opinion. This person might not agree with it. That person might not agree with it. But what you don't do is turn around and personally attack me and my family just because you don't agree with a sports opinion that is purely based off the sport. I didn't make it personal. But what that really shows is just how low of a person Ryan Clark is.
Now, see, RG3 is wrong. He did make it personal because what he said was not a sports take. He said that Angel Reese hates, in capital letters, Caitlin Clark. He don't know either one of them. He does, like you pointed out, he doesn't know Angel Reese. That was a personal observation that he made that had nothing to do with sports. He didn't say.
What if he's not wrong?
I mean, he might not be wrong. He might
I know.
not.
I'm asking that. Like, what if he's not wrong?
And then, so to your point, if it is the case, we shouldn't probably care, right? That, okay, they don't like each other, big deal. But unfortunately, because of the racial component, it has just made these conversations just way too annoying. Where it's like, I know that's part of America, but like,
I have to say this. If his white wife wasn't in the background, would it have stung less? He has said RG3 has said many things about Angel Reese. He's corrected himself and went back and apologized also on Twitter. I'm not defending him. I just know he said some things that really irritated me wholeheartedly. And then he went back and corrected himself because he don't know what he's talking about. He don't have any surprise in our business. But I wonder if the optics really also made our Ryan a little pissed off.
I'm sure they did.
A white woman in the background going, amen, amen,
Yep.
amen.
I'm sure they did. Yeah, because even with people, and I'm not saying that black folks are 100% perfect of this, because God knows that we are not. But even with people, maybe other black people we dislike, the one little code that we always understand is that we don't talk about each other like that in mixed company. Like there was a certain code to that, at least that I was raised on. I can't speak for everybody else household or how everybody else get down. And I know I've done this, with people we both know that are black that we both can't stand. All right. But what we don't do is we don't publicly either discuss the person or in mixed company.
True. Oh, because you went at that girl that used to work at ESPN in mixed company.
Oh, she different. That's different. That's wide open, right? But for a long time, I let her live, though. But for a long time, I let her live.
You let her live for decades. It felt like decades.
For a minute.
For decades before you went at her head. Yes,
exactly.
I agree with you. I don't look at RG3 new generation. I don't know what that means. I don't look at RG3 and think I don't look at RG3 and think exactly. I don't look at him and think that he would respect the code. There's nothing about him that says he respects the code. From the moment we've covered him since he entered the league until today, there's nothing about him that says that he respects this code. This code is just something that we know, and there's a privilege that he has that a lot of us that a lot of us don't have. I will say this: I'm never going to be mad at a young king or a seasoned king for protecting Black women. I'm not, because we don't see enough of that. But what I am not going to do is allow someone without any type of credential, i.e. RG3, to get me outraged for his lack of basic knowledge and his inability to see or understand what it feels like to be a Black woman in America, or to be a Black woman in a story in a narrative that she didn't create. That narrative was already created for Angel Reese. And give me a minute to explain that to you people. When you are a Black woman who is comfortable in your own skin and unapologetic, it takes so much time to get to that place. And for whatever reasons, Angel Reese has arrived in her early 20s. Kudos to you. I am unapologetically Black. I am myself. I will be myself. Now, that is something most of us don't have the fortitude and the understanding to do right away. She's done that. She's came into the league and said, this is me. Now, it comes with a price when you want to show up with your full self. It just does, and that's what it is. So this narrative, this story of good versus evil, bad versus good, she's wrong, she's right, will always be the case. I believe, with voices like this, we have to be able to decipher that nonsense. We have to be like, are we even really paying attention to him? RG3 doesn't even deserve a response. And I think the only reason why we're responding is because Ryan Clark responded.
Yeah, and I think probably we were, surprised that he went to the white wife card. I was like,
I wasn't surprised at all, because that made sense to me. That made sense to me. You couldn't understand what it's like you don't have an intimate, I don't know what his relationship with his mother. I'm not going to say I'm going to do exactly what he's doing, but do you have an intimate relationship with a Black woman that you live with every day in and out while she's out here trying to make it and pursue her career and live in this world that often denies her in ways that only you two can understand, because it's a hidden coded language that only you two understand? He doesn't have that intimate knowledge. So I'm just like, Nevertheless, Jemele, I defer to you. I'm going to ask you this question and we'll move on.
Okay.
Do you think Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark?
I think the furthest I'll go is to say I don't know. And hate is a pretty strong word in general. When you talk about hating somebody, I think she resents the way she is framed as being the villain in her story. I think she resents the fact that she feels like she has brought something to this league as well, and people just dismiss her and sum up her career by saying you wouldn't even be known if it wasn't for this woman, for Caitlin Clark. And I know if I heard that 1,000 times a day, that what I've accomplished is minimized by the presence of somebody else, then I would probably feel a way too. It might be even though I don't think she even knows Caitlin Clark well enough to hate her. But Caitlin Clark, I could easily see a scenario or a feeling, just because we're human beings, where, and this is how, and it's not just Angel Reese, but I think Black women in general in the WNBA have been positioned as being the villains in Caitlin Clark's story in
Oh,
general, regardless of Angel Reese, everybody, Asia Wilson, everybody has been put in the same bucket. And after a while, you probably get tired of people saying your league wouldn't be shit if it wasn't for Caitlin Clark, or nobody would watch if it wasn't for Caitlin Clark, when you know what you have put into making it to that professional level. So yeah, I could see an undercurrent of resentment of that narrative, but I don't think it's necessarily personal.
Can I say something?
Mm.
If she does hate her, and hate is a strong word, it would be unfortunate, but it would be her prerogative.
Mm-hmm.
It's
You're saying
unfortunate.
you could understand it.
Yes, it would be unfortunate, but it would be her prerogative. I could understand. And by the way, outside looking in, we don't know what these girls have dealt with behind closed doors. We don't know who ignores who. We don't know who. You and I have worked with some people that are very famous who are real true assholes. And so public facing, we say the right things, we do the right things. Anybody who has a job where you got to go in and interact with other human beings, you know how to be nice when it's time to be nice. And you may not like them. So be it. So be it. You may not like that person. That's fine too. But leave all that stuff behind when we're playing. But their job is to compete. And so it's going to be hard for people to decipher whether that's true competition or somebody who just dislikes that person. And that's why I said we got to be okay with it being both. We got to be okay with it being both. And we can't react every time there is something like this happening. To me, Caitlin Clark knew exactly what she was doing. That foul was shitty. And she was like, she's not getting an easy 2 points on me. I'm sorry.
And that's just basketball, though. That's just basketball.
Basketball play is a basketball move. You know what it is. And knowing that she knows the optics. One, she knows what people think about them. Two, and she knows she has privilege. But all of that, to me, when she took that hard foul on her, to me, she didn't care about none of that. She just was like, I'm not about to have this girl make me look stupid. And I thought it was sheer competition. You ain't about to make me look stupid. Now, it might be a little sweeter since it's you, but you're not about to make me look stupid. I'm glad she continued to play. I'm glad she didn't hold up. I'm glad she didn't pretend she didn't know what was going on because she didn't want this particular narrative. Because if she continues to play like that and Angel continues to respond that way with anybody, not just Caitlin, these conversations will be done. We won't care. We just won't care anymore because it'll be so commonplace.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you're right to say that, you know, we need to get to a point where we don't care as much about this rivalry or care about them liking each other or, you know, that kind of thing. But I think that we're probably past that point. And, you know, one other thing that I wanted to bring up about this whole RG3 and Brian Clark debate is, I will say this, like, one thing that has always made me a little bit uncomfortable as it relates to RG3 is that he seems to really go out of his way to defend his marriage at times when no one is caring about it, in ways that I find to be kind of strange. You know, like let me show you this. This tweet he posted. This was last year. Post Malone concert with a tall glass of milk, and it's like, bruh,
corny.
It's just a little like, hey man, don't nobody care that you married to a white woman. I promise you, I don't. No one loses sleep over this, all right, at all.
I think like he's just letting you know, I know you guys feel away, so I'm standing 10 toes.
But I'm like, who is feeling away? I'm just like, who is everybody?
He's probably getting the same. Do you think what Ryan said is the first time he's heard this? Do you know how many times somebody comes at him every time he says something about Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese? This is not the first time he had to defend his love and his wife. And he just like, this is woo, 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 this is us. Like, I think he's used to doing it. And I think he's like, look, y'all may hate it. Y'all sure hate it, but y'all about to see it. Like, he's that kind of personality. And look, I don't know him. I'm doing exactly what he did. He's that kind of personality. It's giving Terry Crews and White Chicks. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. Snappy one.
Okay. It just took it all the way there, right?
Anyway, look, I think the verses is kind of petty. I think at the end of the day, sometimes people just say stuff to say stuff. And I understand why this is important for us to have these conversations. But what RG3 was doing was planting a trap, and we all fell for it. And that's what he wanted it. He wanted y'all to click. He wanted y'all to talk bad about him. The theatrics of him responding to Ryan were just I was like, is this Othello? The way he was pausing and moving the camera in and bringing it back and moving it in and telling you all the things. I was like, get out of here. I was just like, we fell into the trap.
Okay. So you're just like, this was a trap. We should have never failed for it. And in general, going forward, like we need to just stop writing think pieces about all of, every time
women,
these two play each other.
Women playing sports, just women being competitors. We're gonna write. That's all they're doing. But whatever. Oh, you had some other stuff. We have any more sound? What else we got to talk about?
Oh, so we do have a lot of other stuff. One thing, we got a lot of stuff. One thing that you definitely peeped me to, I guess we're, talking about beefs and all this kind of stuff. I didn't realize until you sent me this story a little while ago. I didn't realize Justin Bieber had apologized to his wife, right? That was, I mean, it caught me off guard. We're gonna show it so that people can see it. But
so let's set the tone. So Hailey Bieber is a model, and she's married to Justin Bieber, and she's on the cover of Vogue. And I guess it came out today and it was all over. But Justin posted, and instead of posting saying, "Look at my beautiful wife," he told us some business that we really didn't even need to know. Jemele, you want to
ask for at all?
It was a group chat that we didn't know we were a part of. But go ahead. What do you say?
Yes. So this apology, I'm reading this because I didn't know what direction this was going in. And this is what he puts as his caption on this beautiful Vogue cover that you see. Yo, this reminds me when Haley and I, is it Haley? Is it Haley, right? Haley and I got into a huge fight. I told Hales that she would never be on the cover of Vogue. Yikes, I know, so mean. For some reason, because I felt so disrespected, I thought I got to get even. I think as we mature, we realize that we're not helping anything by getting even. We're honestly just prolonging what we really want, which is intimacy and connection. So, baby, you already know, but forgive me for saying you wouldn't get a Vogue cover because clearly I was sadly mistaken. I mean,
you married. Like, because we got to talk to the married one, because last week y'all said I ain't gonna ever have no man or be married.
That's right. They told you that you were like hopelessly single.
Yeah, hopelessly single. Poor Carrie.
Poor Carrie. They like, don't nobody want to be with you, Carrie. I was like, okay.
She don't ever make nothing herself. So you're married, and you and your husband fight. And when you all fight, that's not your way. You're pretty. I don't know you intimately the way in which your husband knows you, like, honestly, but I do know that you're pretty even, and that you don't argue from a point to hurt, to intend to hurt, to be mean, correct, as Justin said he was doing with his wife. This begs the question, one, this is why you've heard so many things about that relationship, how it's back and forth. You hear all the rumors about how abusive it is and how they're figuring it out. I don't know any of that. I don't know any of that. But what I do know is that when people try to belittle you or hurt you in whatever capacity, is because they're tremendously hurt themselves. Do you ever find yourself in a situation where you have ever talked so bad to Ian where you were just like, I'm going to take you down and I'm going to say this because I know it will kill you?
Oh, I've never done that. I mean, there are ways in which I think when you're angry, how you talk to the person you're in the relationship with matters, right? And I had a boyfriend, I had an ex that when we would get into a fight, I would say really awful things to him. And probably one of the worst things, it is kind of a funny, dramatic story wrapped around it. But what I knew I had to leave this man. I called him a deceitful bitch. Okay. I did.
Yo.
I thought it was deceitful.
That hurt my heart.
I did.
You didn't even talk to me. If you talk to me like that, I'd have to come find you. That'd be it. We be fighting. That's fine. Right.
I was like,
our best friend.
I did. I mean, and to this day, our girl Kelly, she still laughs at me because she was like, "Girl, who under the age of 70 uses the word deceitful?" Old black people shit. You so deceitful.
Argument. You didn't say what your lying ass. You said you deceitful.
I said I was like, you deceitful bitch, is what I said to him.
What exactly did he do? Because I couldn't even imagine you getting that angry. I've known you for over 15 years. I couldn't even imagine you being that angry ever.
Yeah, well, I was mad because I discovered that he was cheating on me and had been cheating on me. I mean, it wasn't like a regular like one night stand or 2 or 3 nights. Like he was in a full on another relationship, right? That he had been with this other woman for like a year and a half. And I found out about it in kind of one of the worst ways. My coworkers found out about it before I did.
Oh no.
Because this is why I always tell women, like, when I know some women, like, they be checking phones and going through people's shit and all that, and get it how you live. If that's what you do, that's what you do. But I always believe that God will let you know. God will let you know something is going on. And this was so coincidental. I was like, oh, I was meant to find out that this dude was cheating on me. And essentially what happened is the girl he was cheating with was best friends with someone whose boyfriend worked at the same place that I worked at. And they threw a
say that again. Just some
so,
real
yeah, I know. I was like, follow the train here. Is that the girl that he was cheating, that my boyfriend was cheating on me with, right? Her best friend was dating somebody who worked at the same newspaper as me.
Okay.
Right. And so what happened was the best friend who was dating somebody at the place where I worked, they threw like a little get together, right? So they throw a little get together, invite people over. The boyfriend who I know, who's a colleague of mine, he invites other people from our job there, like some of his boys, and they show up and they see my current boyfriend there with another chick, and they're just like, they had just met him a week before.
As your boyfriend?
As my boyfriend. They had literally just met him. And that's
like, this is my boyfriend.
Correct. And they don't know what's going on. They're like, okay,
who's boyfriend?
She literally just introduced us to her man last week. And that was how I found out. And because to make the story even more complicated, one of the colleagues of mine that were invited to this get together, where they discovered that, oh, he got, 2 girlfriends, clearly, just so happened to be the best friend of my ex-boyfriend. I know this is
which ex?
It was a guy that I dated before I was with the person that I was.
So the moral of the story is Detroit's too small, ladies and gentlemen. That
is right. That's the moral of the story. It's like, yeah.
Because your work shouldn't be bumping into work. Who's bumping into work that you used to work with? All your work is gone. Like your work, your work.
You said what I was trying to say, but more succinct and
yes. I was like, so your work is bumping in some other work, and then found out about your other work. I'm all set. Okay, can I say something? The Justin Bieber of it all, and he's been having these confessions and sharing a lot on social media. I think one, he's writing an album, but two, I think he is starting to want to be more honest with who he is and the kind of person he is, and also trying to, I think it looks like trying to just let his wife know that I really do value you. I don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but when you fight like that, and the only reason why I talk about that, because I used to fight real nasty. Because I was hurt. And so hurt people try to hurt people. I used to take pride in breaking somebody's spirit down. Now I'm all like, ooh, it hurts me more than it hurts you after I'm all said and done. Like him writing that is a true apology, trying to just like, I felt like crap. I should have never said it. I was mean. That's wrong. You showed me. Thank you for still loving me and being and that takes a big man to say that. That is a huge human, not even a man. That's a huge thing that humans should talk about. And I just remember when we talk about some of the meanest things that I have ever said, I remember breaking up with this dude. Clearly why I'm not married, guys. And breaking up with this guy. By the way, that's gonna be the take the whole time. Right. And I told him, that's why your kids don't even like you. I literally told that man that his children couldn't stand him. And what was sad was that it was true. I didn't have to say that. He knew that and I knew that. And I felt all right around with Baby D and Brooklyn.
That was uncalled for, A. Davis. That was uncalled for.
Uncalled for. First I'm too bougie, now I've got a brick in the car ready to get revenge. But anyway, I remember thinking, I saw how I broke his spirit, and I would never want anybody to do that to me or hurt my feelings. And I always thought, oh, that is cold blooded. And so I never ever did that, because it took more out of me to be so damn mean. So I was like, gee, why is Justin sharing this with all of us right now? But it just reminds you that, hurt people. Yeah, I did. I went for the jugular, girl. I was just like, everybody got to die. Mama ain't happy. We ain't happy. Everybody got to die. And you talk about getting cheated on. This guy, I didn't know if he was cheating on me. I didn't find out. But speaking of a story similar to yours, I was hanging out with this dude. I thought he was my boo. I thought he was in love. I thought he was I thought we were about to be together forever, forever, forever. Mm. And we would talk 18 times a day, see each other all the time.
Okay. A lot of phone caking. Okay.
Text me, good night, good morning, I miss you, boo. I love you, I love you. Girl, I woke up one morning, 6 a.m., turned over to grab my phone and send an I love you text. And I see a text from him, and it's a picture of 3 different women, and they're all topless. It's 3 pictures, 1, 2, 3, and they're all 3 different women, and they're all topless. It was from a 4th girl he was fooling with, who broke into his phone and she was like, you ain't the only one. Send.
No.
And I was like, yo, it was so, I didn't even have my bearings that your aunties would say in the morning. And I'm like, is he texting me this? Why is he texting me? The girl got the phone.
What?
No, I wasn't the only one, and then sent evidence.
Just so you knew
that I ain't nothing, that I was just one of the many. I thought I was in love. This was so awful. It was just awful. It was an awful time. And no, I didn't say anything mean to him. I could have saved my mean words for him, but I was just like, I'm all set. But can you imagine?
Did he get the cuss out of a century?
He probably did, but not as hard as your kids don't like you. That's unnecessary, Carrie. I'm glad that was old, Carrie. I'm recovered and safe now. But
you're healed now.
I'm healed now. You see this light? You see this light shining in on me? I'm very angelic. It says they're sweet soul best friend. All right. You never let them in your phone and never go through theirs. First of all, do you go through your husband's phone?
No, I never have. Never have. You ain't
never went to your phone. You never went and said, babe, let me look for something real quick.
Did not.
You ain't never did a Beyonce and looked over while texting.
I don't think so. I mean, I think anything I saw, not that I saw anything bad. It was just like accidentally, like my eyes just happened to be sort of.
Really? Your eyes happened to do
really like.
What did your eyes happen to do, Negro?
I just happened to look in that direction, and he was texting, and it was like one of his boys. Like I didn't even. As soon as I realized I was looking,
it was one of his boys. If you weren't looking, how'd you know it was one of his boys if you wasn't looking?
Because I saw their name on the text.
So you were looking. Because you don't just glance over and see a name, Negro.
Why are you treating me like a hostile witness right now?
You're trying to be above it all, and you're not above it all sometimes.
I have never snooped through this man's phone. I know, right? I was like, I have never snooped through this man's phone. I have not looked when we were dating and living in different states, and he went to work and he left me at his place. I didn't go ransack his things. I didn't go looking for other women's clothing. Like I did none of that.
You didn't ransack. You save your big words. You save your SAT words.
Yes, I did not ransack his place, but I'm not saying that I'm above it. I just did it before. That's what I'm saying. See, I also have healed. Like I did that before. Like,
can I just say something? The way you just said it sounds like a lie. I'm gonna go ahead and put my RG3 hat on.
I did not.
I never. I mean, sometimes I just glance over and
in this relationship, I have never done that. I've never done
I'm kidding. I know you don't. I have never. Does Eve look at your phone?
No, not that I know of. No. I mean, I don't think he ever has. I ain't got nothing in there. And he knows my passcode. He never remembers it because I'll be like, oh, go get this. Can you pull up this on my phone or whatever, or answer this or do whatever? I don't care.
You know why? You should put this in the chat. You should put this as a topic. If you get a man and or woman and decide to marry that man and or woman, do you get rid of your old phone and bring in a new phone and make it clean, crisp, and ready to go?
It's so funny that you say that because
I remember you got a new phone when you
I
really.
did. I got a new phone. It is so true. That's why
She was serious about it. She got a new. She's like, girl, I'm changing my phone number. I said, you changing your phone number? I was like, you must love this man. She's like, I got a new phone. I'm putting all your business in the street.
I mean, listen. The reason I listen. I not only it was mostly about the fact that too many people definitely had my number for sure, and that didn't just apply to men, like not at all. But I just was like, I've had the same number for 20 years. All right. My English teacher from college could call me right now. It'd be the same one. I was like, it's too many people. And of course, as I got more known, working at ESPN, I just didn't want all those people to have access to my phone. Now, was a additional benefit that there are some people I could leave behind in that process? Yeah, like that was cool. Like that didn't bother me at all. So yes, I changed my number.
That's when I knew it was real. That's when I knew it was real. I was like, man, welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Hello to you, man. First, you used to be like, I don't know you, man. I'm like, hello to you, man. Okay, welcome to the family, Ian.
I promise y'all, I was not being slick. I was.
Yeah, you are slick with it. The same thing you said when she rolling her eyes. She was like, I might have glanced over and saw
like, just an innocent glance. Just like, okay, when you're on an airplane, and somebody next to you is texting, have you ever looked over?
Yeah, but I'm blind, so I can't see.
Oh yeah, so you can't see.
Yeah, anybody who know me know I'm blind, so you could be cheating all up on me next to me. If I'm looking at your phone from even like this, like I'm looking down right now, I can't see what's going on. I don't have on my contact. And even if I did, I couldn't see. So no, I do look. I look to see what people are watching on TV when I'm.
I do that too. I do that as well.
Maybe text, sure, kinda like sure if it's a meme, but I don't look at. I just don't. Now, have I gone through a man's phone? Is a whole different question.
So you have gone through a man's phone,
of course, and so have you. Don't be silly. Find me the woman who ain't been in a significant relationship with a significant amount of time and just kind of slip through one or two texts just to make sure shit's on the right. Things is good. All right, cool. Because if you find something, Jemele, I just saw the first paragraph. Legit. Jemele's like, I just read the first paragraph. I didn't know what you were doing. Jemele,
a happenstance glance, everyone. Just a glance. That was it. A happenstance glance. It was like,
okay. That's she.
Yes, that was it. Okay. It was not intentional. I was not trying to spy on him.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, whatever. It never ends well. Don't ever look through a phone.
No, because like, why? Have you? Well. So wait. So what's the most detective-like thing that you have ever done in a relationship or situation or whatever? Probably the most detective shit I probably did. Not probably. I did do this. Is my ex, your boy Hawaii. Okay. Mm-hmm. So he was divorced. All right. And divorced, they have a son. And
I don't know why I'm laughing. I don't even know what the story is about to be, but
I felt like the ex-wife was intentionally trying to be an issue in our relationship because I told him, I said, listen, as we discussed earlier, when talking about Angel Reese and female athletes, women in general are very petty. We know this. And I told him, I was like, listen, y'all divorced. It's still kind of fresh. They'd only been divorced a couple years. And what you don't realize is because you got happy first, her ego is bruised. All right. Because every woman thinks we're the best thing that ever happened to a guy. Yes. And then when that guy gets with somebody who's, bringing what I was bringing to the table, I was like, oh, she gonna feel away.
Commercial break. Jamel was like, so when he got with a bad bitch like me, you know what I'm saying? That's what you're saying. So when he got with a bad bitch like me, then she was a real man. And then she was like,
listen, I didn't say you did. Okay. I didn't say you did. Right. So then it was like a whole bunch of stuff happened. I was like, girl, we went on vacation. She called the hotel, like it was a series of events
so she
that took place. And one of the sort of final straws or issues, not a final straw in our relationship, but just like, you got to talk to her, or I will. Is he came home from work, and she was sitting in the living room, and that's because his son had a key to his place, and she used the key to get in there under the guise of, I got to get some mail. There was some mail sent here I was looking for, and he's like, you just can't be coming to my place and uninvited, not telling me, that whole thing. And so her behavior was so out of pocket sometimes that I thought they got to still be messing around. Like, why is this woman still this much of an issue?
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh no. And especially when I would try consistently to tell her, like, you got to check this woman, right?
Mhm.
And it seemed to me that he wasn't doing that in a way that I felt was appropriate. The response wasn't appropriate. So one night he had told me that she was coming over to drop their son off or something like that. So I was like, oh, okay. I drove, at that point, I was living about an hour and a half away from him. I was living in Lansing and he was in the Detroit area. I drove down to Detroit. I drove to his place and sat there in the parking lot because I knew when she was going to get there to drop the son off. And I wanted to see how long she stayed inside of there. So I was pulling a whole stakeout in the parking lot.
Okay, so do you call that detective, stalking / jealous? What was that? Is a combo? Because you said what's the most detective. You made it real elegant.
I did. I tried to make it more elegant. I mean,
it sounds like
he was ready. Full on stakeout.
Like, how long will they be in there? They must still be dealing with one another. And it also sounds like he was ready to give her the business.
I was ready to give her the business because my other thought was, if she in there, like if she in there for like 2 hours or some lengthy amount of time, when she come out, she gonna have to see me.
Okay, were you gonna let them finish business, or were you gonna stop down after an hour? I want to know if first of all, how long she stay? Ain't nobody asked an important question. How long?
Okay.
How long is she there?
So she only stayed. It might have been 20 minutes.
Okay, so
20 minutes,
okay.
And then
respectable 20.
But see, I did a series of things. Like, one, I'm sitting in my car, like behind some other cars, like trying to do the stakeout, looking at the front door, like had my car, so I'm looking at the front door. And then the other thing too is that I purposely called him while she was there to see if he would answer the phone.
Go ahead.
And see, he'd pick up. And so I was like, so I'm in the car heated.
No.
I was in the car like thinking through 25 different things. I was like, yo, when she come out, am I gonna knock on the door? Am I gonna wait till she come out? Like, what is going to be my plan of action here? But then she came out in 20 minutes and then he called me back. So they might have been just in the midst of a conversation or whatever have you. It wasn't that big a deal. And of course he was like, he's like, oh, where are you right now? I was like, oh, I'm at home, sitting right in his parking lot. So that's probably.
This happens to us. All my friends are brilliant. For folks at home who are listening, all my friends are brilliant and beautiful. But there's just always one that takes us out of our character. We come right back quickly.
It is.
It's one that has us doing something we're not supposed to be doing.
It is. I mean, and that was hugely out of character for me. Because one thing about me is like, I've
never seen you blink. I ain't seen you sweat. You don't blink, you don't sweat, you don't do none of that. This is why this story is crazy, y'all. Like, Jemel's the most gangster. When you done, and you walk away. You don't call back. You don't do a push and pull. You don't be like, you want to be with me? I want to be with you. That dance. You don't do that. You be done.
I'll be done. And
it's crazy.
Yeah, but it's like it's certain people who have definitely brought me out of that place. Or you know how it is when you're younger. I mean, these are all mostly relationships that were in my 20s stretching to my 30s, where you just do things that are just illogical, right? Like,
your brain isn't fully developed. How are you supposed to do things that are logical?
I mean,
he called you Shamel. He called you Shamel Holmes. Shamel Holmes. I'm crying, Shamel.
Look, sometimes you gotta do your own investigations to find out. And again, all of this rooted for a simple thing is that I felt like he did not create enough boundaries with his ex-wife. Correct. And that's really what the issue was. The issue was, I certainly could have behaved better, but at the end of the day, that's what it was about. And so I remember, and definitely when I think I forgot at one point he had left me. He had gone to work, and I was at his place. Oh, I was like the FBI up in there, damn near with like a little spotlight or whatever. I looked through everything.
You pulled out that special light to see if there was anything on the carpets. Yeah, I know you. I get it. I get it. Okay, so
Gary,
I heard. I saw that. I saw that. I was ignoring that. I saw that. Okay. I just want to wrap up because I feel seen in my crazy at times back when I was a child. Jemele, thank you for confessing to all of us that you might. It's just always one that takes us out of our brilliance and out of our beauty every now and again. And sometimes you just have to pop out and pop back in. We pop out, we pop back in. So that was it. You will never see Jemele like that again.
Nope.
You guys got that personal story here. Y'all already know I'll be doing crazy stuff. Let's put that to the side, But what's the update on the responsible king? Guys and gals.
Oh, the deep sigh. Oh Lord, the deep sigh.
No, I let the sigh out. When I left you all last Tuesday, I really was thinking, okay, I'll hang out with the responsible king again. I will give him a try. I will listen to what he has to say. But then I left. I went on several trips. I went to LA for a hot minute. I saw Beyonce in Chicago, and I came back and I had a lot of time to process. And I just thought, I don't want that for my life. So guys, I just don't want that for my life. I don't want some man who thinks already 3 weeks into knowing me that I have ulterior motives and he thinks I want to spend his money, or 2 months into knowing me thinking I want to do something like I have some ulterior motive. I don't have any ulterior motive. As our girl said, I live a nice, big, full life. And if I want to be with you, I want to be with you. Stop comparing me to what your ex did. You see, Jemele is no longer investigating. She healed. She found a man who saw she had healed. She ain't even been through this man's phone. She's not waiting outside. Wait, my girl gave. Let me tell you about this stakeout. You said if she would have been there for 2 hours, you just would have. I was like, 2 hours? I would have knocked on that door into 30 minutes. You talk about 2 hours? You was gonna let them be in the house for 2 hours by themselves? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Well, clearly, my stakeout game wasn't as clearly not. Clearly, I had not performed and executed enough of these stakeouts.
Oh yeah. You're like, and if she's there for 2 hours, then I'll get her. Like, girl, she sure already did what she had to do in them 2 hours. What you gonna get her? Ha. Gotcha. No, I'm back. I am quite frankly a little busy, but if I happen to bump into a young stable king who wants to go,
a young stable king that's not hitting you with the why can't you treat me sometime after like 3 or 4 days, even though you had treated him, which was
which is crazy. But I'm not. Look, I feel like it's coming. It's coming. I am so laser focused on other things right now, and so that's why it was easy for me to walk away. I have a lot going on personally, lots going on with my family. I got a lot of things and responsibilities in life. And so I felt like, okay, I can take a beat. What did that person say? Carrie
they said, Carrie, is there a player's book coming? You know what? Y'all get out of here. Like what? They said
you don't have time for the drama. Move on and live your life. Yeah, I just don't. Look at this fun that we're having. You see this light here, this angelic light that's coming in. Life is good. So I really do love, and I'm gonna be done with this. I really do love that she was about to do a straight 48 hours stakeout, like a real, like just sitting out there. You're gonna wait till she came out in the morning and say, "Aha!" Like as opposed to me being like, "Open this door." You gonna wait for them to finish.
You probably would have did that 5 minutes after she went in there.
5 minutes. What y'all doing after 5 minutes? You were like, she come out here in 25 hours. I'm gonna jump on her and I'm gonna say, "Katcha." You know what I mean?
I say, "Dagnammit."
What? And that's why I said that's why you're healed, and you don't look at your husband's phone. You only casually. Sometimes your eyes might fall on it. You guys are still not telling us the truth. You're still not telling us the truth.
It's so true. But
her eyes might fall on the test.
I did not have a K9 unit on standby. No,
you did.
But I will. I just thought about it. It's like you asked me about going through a man's phone. I did check an ex's voicemail before. I did do that. I checked his voicemail because I knew, actually, I guessed the passcode to it. Because I remember how you would, when you check your voicemail, you had to enter a code and then they gave you the voicemail.
How many tries?
I think I got in after 2 tries. Because I was like, it's either this number or this number, like
Yeah.
one of the two. It was like a 4-digit code, right? And so what it led me to, and by the way, this was the one who cheated on me who was in a whole other relationship.
In a real one, without telling
Right,
you.
because I just had a funny feeling. I just had a feeling that something wasn't quite right. Like he claimed to me that he was on my case about being friends with this dude, right? And he was like, I don't have any female friends, blah 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 blah. And I was like,
Mhm.
none. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he just like, I just don't believe in that, and that's just disrespectful to even. I was like, to have a basic friendship with somebody that is disrespectful. So it was like, okay, whatever. And I was like, why do I not believe him? And sure enough, I checked his voicemail and I heard it was a girl that was leaving a message, but she just sounded just too familiar, like real familiar, like she knew his schedule. She was just like, yeah, something like, oh yeah, I know you said you'd be here at 8. What about 8:30? Blah blah blah. Like it just seemed real intimate. Like it was
Mhm.
the same chick he was cheating on me with. It's the same chick. So I was like, I knew it.
We
See,
always be knowing. We always be knowing.
be letting you know where evil lurk. Okay.
Can I tell you something? That reminds me of this dude. I remember, um, it's so awful. I remember I had met this guy and he had a girlfriend, and I could tell he was like feeling me. And we were working on a project, and he was like, I could tell he was feeling me, but he was just a little too chatty. And she was hawking like I would just say hi and be nice to her and go out of my way to be nice to her. But I felt his energy towards me, but I never said anything. And one day she didn't come to work with him, and he turned to me and he was like, now I can talk to you because she know where evil lurks. I was like, I'm not evil. Well, I did nothing. I ain't trying to take you. I don't want to. I don't want. Guess what? One thing about my selfish ass, I don't want nobody's man. I want my own.
Right.
I want my own. And so I was laughing. I was laughing so hard. So when you said that, that reminded me of that. Also, a commenter here said the problem with women today is our age. We should be talking about our kids and grandkids and not talking about men we're dating. That's why there are this problem with women today. You and I are
Is
the
that
problem.
what's wrong with us?
That's
Okay.
the problem for women today
Oh,
because
did not realize that.
yeah,
Did not
yeah.
realize that was the problem.
It was
Okay.
I was sworn that I didn't have to be identified by whether or not I have a child. I didn't know, or whether I'm married. I didn't know those things made me whole and wholesome. But I guess, yeah,
Look, the people think you holding back, Carrie.
I am.
She's
I am.
doing this to protect the innocent, okay? And
Okay.
also the guilty. The guilty
No,
as well.
I have my level of detectiveness. Yes, I've gone through the phone. I will go through your phone. If we are together, just leave the phone unlocked. I'm going through it. Don't do any dirt. I'm going through it. Not right away, not all the time, but like if you start acting weird, or you holding your phone like a newborn all the time, or are you sneaking in the closet? I know where evil lurks as well, so I might do a dabble or two, or I might do what Jemele does. She says it works if you just your eyes fall on the screen.
Just an innocent glance. And then I was suspecting nothing. So wait, has somebody ever gone through your phone?
Yes, of course. Yes. No,
Really?
I only know.
And you knew it?
Yes, I did. I've only gone through. I've dated. I've only gone through 2 dudes' phone in my entire career of dating. Only 2.
Mhm.
Like I've never. I don't run around going through your phone on purpose. But if I feel like Mama needs to see something, she might do a just a drive by. Just a quick drive by. I'm not getting into the knit and the grit of when you text and you emailed. I'm gonna do. You know how you scroll? I'm just gonna a drive by on your text. Just a quick little
Okay.
drive by on your.
Just a quick
You know,
little
like
to see how many names are women. Is that what we're doing?
yeah, like okay, Michelle, Tina, Sam, okay, cool, and then whatever. So and leave it at that. But I'll tell you what I won't ever do is bring it back up because I'm not supposed to be in a damn phone. That I do know.
Ooh.
So that might be my level of sneakiness right there. I just never bring it up. If I found something, I couldn't bring it up. I couldn't bring it to him.
I'll be honest, a big reason why I don't do it, and it was never like a common practice, because I know what it feels like to have my privacy violated, right? Because I do. I was like, I had an ex.
I'm laughing because someone said, let that man cheat in peace, Carrie. I got to read these comments. Okay, go on.
Because I had an ex who read my journal, and it was, man, that was a level of
That's
violation.
disgusting.
It was, and then
that's disgusting because no one takes it. That's like writing love letters, your deepest secrets. That's to yourself. That's another level.
Correct. So I had somebody
No.
who did that to me, and then what was even worse is that they weaponized the information that was in there, and
Oh,
that's what made that even worse.
do I know him?
We'll talk about that offline, Gary. We'll talk about that offline.
I will stab him in his neck. How dare?
Yeah. So
How long was
that's
y'all together?
too long. Too long. So that's a big reason why I was like, I never wanted to get into that. And it is what you said, is like you often will wind up finding something that you don't really want to find. Or that, because anything, especially with the way, like I probably got text messages from like 7 years ago in my phone. Like I might, like I haven't been, I've just been too lazy to delete them because I never really did that anyway.
Well, that's why that it doesn't. There's just like, it sounds crazy, but it's just things you do. Like, but it's nothing you could actually do with that information. Like, I don't think, if I'm being honest, if I've ever been in a relationship and I really think I'm in a relationship, I don't think I'm gonna find texts from other bitches like on his phone, like boo, me and you. I'm pretty secure in that. But there is something about the glance over. I'll just call it a glance over. You can do it in whatever form you want to call it. The glance over is what Jemele does when she casually looks over. Maybe it's a scroll through the text, or maybe it's let me open up a drawer, and then I close it back. Like women do that. We're nosy.
Just open up a drawer just to see.
Women do that. They open up a drawer. You just casually peer. Okay, I see. Or a man might go in a woman's medicine cabinet to see what prescription she got. You know what I mean? We saw that on Jerry Seinfeld. We're getting serious. We're in this. I want to make sure I'm not reading wrong energy or being lied to. But I don't do that anymore because I'm healed. But what I am telling you, is that every person goes through that process, until they arrive at the point where they're like, we're healed. Sweet soul, best friend, right there.
Look at that. You are a sweet soul. Sweet soul. Talk about Beyonce, because Auntie was out there. Look at you out there living your best life at the Beyonce concert.
At the Auntie Beyonce. Okay, this is a real funny story. I don't know much of the Cowboy Carter album. I know a little bit of it. And I thought a lot of people thought they were having Cowboy Carter, but it was not just Cowboy Carter. You guys can go to my Instagram page and check out all of the photos. But when I'm literally at the concert, I'm going to say this, and it might be blasphemy. It was better than Renaissance. It's one of the best concerts.
I never saw Renaissance. Really?
It's one of the best concerts I believe she has ever done. It'll be one of her favorites. When I tell you, you could stand from beginning to end and dance and be entertained. And she told this beautiful story. She's a genius, and she is not lauded enough for her genius. When I tell you every story that she told America that country music belongs to us and we are country music. You can't take something that belonged to us. We actually started it and we gave it to y'all. And she just spread that message throughout the entire concert of don't act like it was in self-empowerment. Don't ask for something if it's already yours. She had these great interstitials. And then she had this moment, of course, with her children, with, Rumi and her daughter Blue just on stage dancing. She just really, really, really was amazing. I can't, she doesn't, she ain't dancing no more. But when you want a good, we all talked about how great Kendrick Lamar's story was at the Super Bowl. Her story was just as great, if not, dare I say, a tad bit better, because she's still talking. She's still talking. He says, look at the boys. I was in let me tell you the section I was in while y'all talking crap. I'm on the floor. And in the Club Beyonce honky tonk section, and it is a lot of her like hardcore fan base, people who know all the words to every song. And so she has a wide array. She got the Black women, she got the LGBTQ community. She has everybody there. They're showing up. They had a good time. It was really, really special. We only had Sir Davis, her whiskey, which was bomb. I'm promoting it as well. And it was beautiful. Look at those people. She flew around on a horseshoe. You saw the concert.
I did. Yeah. She did the horseshoe. She did the car. I mean, it was really spectacular, and it was just a good time, just a good vibe, good time. She did, she did enough, I think, of her like past hits to where you would be satisfied. Like I think whatever stage of Beyonce brought you in as a fan, like that stage was well represented, I thought, in this concert. And just the growth of Blue Ivy is just really amazing.
She killing it. She dancing really good. She danced better than you now, Jay.
Oh, that's not hard to do. So I think that's a low barometer. Okay.
You be moving.
That's a low barometer, but she was spectacular, and every outfit Beyonce wore, girl, I just wanted in my closet. I was like, oh,
Did you really?
I did. I wanted them all.
I will say this before we jump off. You've been looking good. So what's this workout you doing? You're not drinking, you're not eating. What you doing? You starving?
I mean, I still get my libations in,
You do? You have an adult beverage or two?
I still get an adult beverage or two in there. But I have been trying to cut back on as I prepare for this milestone birthday. As you know, I'm trying to there's a special gift I want to give myself when that happens. So I'm in training mode now, so to speak.
You are training. Can we run through a few comments before we get up out of here?
Sure, we surely can. Let's run through it because somebody wants to know here, Cari, was Responsible King cooked before or after the Beyonce?
Responsible King did not. He wanted to go to the concert, I'm sure, but I know. So yeah, he was cooked before.
He was cooked before.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me this earlier, and I meant to pop it up there, but I forgot. They asked if the side chick knew about me. I don't know which one of us was a side chick. I was like, why are you playing?
Ain't that the worst situation to be in? You didn't know wait, so you were the side chick?
We had both. We had both just doing the math of the relationship. It might have been just a 6-month difference. A 6-month difference between when we started dating. So like I think you started dating me first.
You were like 1A, 1B? Like you don't want to
I think so. We 1A, 1B. And so what happened was, by the way,
nobody was the side. It was just 1A, 1B.
It was just 1A, 1B. Yeah, I think so.
Girl, wait outside for 2 hours. Go ahead.
This wasn't with the 2-hour dude. The 2-hour dude never cheated on me.
No, I'm being funny. I
know, right? Wait outside.
I'm crazy. I wish somebody called me 1A or 1B. You getting shot.
I mean,
it was just a reality. It happens to all of us.
The reality of what it was. So essentially what happened was on the housewarming invitation, the girl who he was cheating with, her number was listed as a point of contact because it was like a housewarming or whatever. And so I called the girl because I had a feeling she probably didn't know about me. So I called, I left them
Shirley?
I said, hey Barbara, this is Shirley. Let me hit you to something real quick. But I didn't. But I left a very nice voicemail and said like, hey, my name is such and such. I've been, seeing this person and I have a feeling you probably don't know about me. And so if you want to talk, call me. She called me back 2 minutes later. 2 minutes later. And her and I got on the phone. And so we just try to put the pieces together. Like, when did he meet you? When did he meet you? Blah, blah, blah. And the thing is, because I was a sports writer at the time, I was covering the Big Ten. I was gone pretty much every weekend. So like, it was really, I had to cap a schedule that made it easy, frankly, for somebody to cheat on me. Worked a lot of nights because I'm covering games. I've worked a lot of weekends. So it's just like, those are prime dating hours. So yes, we didn't live in the same city. He was in Detroit. I was living in Lansing. So it was like a lot of things that made it conducive to the environment for him to cheat on me. But the funniest part of the conversation, Cari, she was heated. Like when she was on 10. Like I thought I was mad. Oh, girl was on like 25. And
not at you, but at him.
At him. She was like heated. She was like, girl, she was like, I don't know. She was like, I say we confront him, blah, 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 blah. She said, let's go who ride on this N-word.
And you're like, ma'am,
I was like, ooh, sweetie, calm down.
I'm on television. I cannot who ride. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't on TV then. I could have who ratted. I could have who ratted if I wanted to. Okay. But I was like, girl, you're not doing it. We can't totally who ride, right? Okay. But and the thing is, he started like now I feel like I got the full information. I got the whole story now. So it's like, okay, because of course his version of the story was that his first version of the story was this was just a woman who liked him and this and that it was nothing. And if anything, he was guilty of just like being more friendly with her than he should have. That's where the story started. Then it was only just a couple times. Then it was like, okay. I was like, he's never going to tell me the truth. I need to find out on my own. So, that's when I called old girl, and she did. I mean, she did have me kind of hyped though for a minute because I was like, "Can I who ride? To who
Yeah,
ride or not to who ride?"
yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
"Okay,
yeah.
yeah."
I would
So,
have.
but I get off the phone with her, and I had also just had my wisdom teeth pulled. So this was like I was on I was on pain meds and whatever. So this is a sensitive time, but I was so mad at him because he clearly had lied continuously. So then I called him and confronted him with all this new information, and that's when I called him a deceitful bitch.
Okay, first of all, the way in which you tell these stories, it's a combination between, investigative reporting, um, hood commentary, and you writing a column. And so I was like, shoot, I could who ride. I could who ride. But basically, that was the moment in which I called him a deceitful bitch. And
You know what? Y'all are so violence is not the answer, people, or as Matt Barr said,
you
until it
crazy. You
is.
are all you did was confirm to me that I didn't know you when you were crazy, and I met you as calm, Jemele. You
did.
met me as crazy, and now knowing me, and you watched me evolve into calm Cari. So, but sometimes so crazy. So I know that I'm disappointed because I would have loved if that would have been me. I'm like, let's just go. Meanwhile, my girl got a toothache. She on pain medicine, but she got time to call the girl and open her mouth and go off on somebody, even though your mouth was hurting from
It was.
but you had
But
time to.
you know who talked me out of who riding? Who talked me out of who riding was Kelly.
Of course,
Kelly talked me out of who riding.
Kelly Carter always. So I just want to know, what was it on a scale of 1 to 10? What was the pain in the mouth?
Oh, girl! I mean, it was.
It was excruciating, but you still found the time to call the girl and have.
Oh yeah, I let the anger fuel me. Like I needed to know at that point. Okay. I needed to know at that point. So damn that toothache. Damn all that. I need to get to the bottom of this. You know what? That's funny. So Jemele is the one with baby D. I mean, she was on some baby D. She definitely was. My girl was ready to get. She was with the shits, as they say.
Girl, my friend. The anger fueled me. Sound like a true scorned woman. The anger.
I was living a whole Tyler Perry movie, and that this all took place over the course of like a week and a half, and I was living a whole Tyler Perry movie. And it was,
and so while this pain is excruciating, hello, Barbara. This is Shirley.
This is Shirley.
I'm coming to you like a woman. Woman to woman.
Woman to woman. Exactly.
I know you think he's your man.
I was a whole 70s love song. It was gone wrong.
I think he's our man.
Exactly. Well, Cari, now you know that I too have lived a life
before you met me.
Yes, I too have lived a life. I retired from most of my shenanigans by the time we met, but I, still had a shenanigan or two in me here and there.
Yeah,
but,
you deceitful.
I know. I was like, deceitful bitch.
Yay or nay. I say yay. I say yay.
Yes, it's the combination of using a very old school term, deceitful, and then putting that bitch on it, right? It's like, yes, I really did this. But listen, as we close here, Cari,
go back into journalism.
Yes, not exactly. We have learned today that the responsible king is up out of here. All right, responsible king no more. And fellas, if you out there, those who are in the chat, tell a friend, don't be a deceitful bitch. That's what you have learned. That never be one of those. Okay, that is what you have learned today.
Just don't.
Anyway, you guys, make sure that you like and subscribe to both of our YouTube pages. We will be here every Wednesday the rest of the month. I guess there's only one more Wednesday, or is it? Yes, I think it's only one more Wednesday.
Yeah, we had 2 more to do.
We got 2 more to do. Okay. So we will
keep coming, keep supporting, fast forward, sending to friends. If you guys want us to keep doing this, if y'all don't want to hear what we got to say, let me know. But if you don't want to hear about what we got to say, Jemele's going to call you a what?
I will not call you a deceitful bitch.
Y'all can say it in the comments. Y'all don't have to say it here. Y'all know how she be.
Anyway, y'all take care, guys. It was fun. We'll see y'all next Tuesday.